love sports.
Sports.
This is the Sports Page with Mitchell Williams on 97.3 and 99.3 SuperTalk, Mississippi.
Hey, good afternoon and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Page here on SuperTalk, Mississippi. Hope you and yours are doing really well. Thanks to all of our listeners on 97.3 and 99.3 SuperTalk Hattiesburg.com and SuperTalk Laurel.com. This community sports radio program held every Monday here on SuperTalk. And I want to thank all of our listeners who are either driving or working out, or if you're at your business or at your home, or if you're listening to us all over the country and around the world, those that love local stuff, listening on these radio stations. And I want to thank you. Hope everybody is doing all right. Of course, in the news, when you go to coffee shops and you go to different places and sit around and talk, people are talking about the shootings this weekend, homecoming shootings in Leland and Rolling Fork and in Heidelberg. Y'all, we lost 9 people around a high school football game, the hallowed Friday nights that we have in Mississippi. And there's so many people injured. Among the 9 is a 5-year-old little girl. Community celebrations, tragically, just were stopped. So there's a lot of things that need to happen, right? You know, in terms of being able to protect those who come to events. And in wake of these shootings at these high school football games, Coach Ricky Nevis of the Mississippi High School Activities Association, he's the executive director, he had this announcement on his podcast this morning that he sent out to everyone, and some things that he's putting in place, the association is, as relates to games slated for Friday night and the rest of the year, and probably in the nearby future. Listen to this.
Good morning. Coming to you from the MHSAA here on a Monday morning after some tragic weekend events that happened at some of our schools, homecoming. I'm sure you've all heard about them. And the first thing I'd like to do is offer our thoughts and prayers and condolences to all those families that were involved and to the school and communities and school personnel that are having to deal with the aftermath. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and if we can be of any assistance, please give us a call. And on this, let me say this. Highly recommend at this time that there be no tailgates on school property. All these events seem to stem from tailgates, so we recommend, from advice from our attorney, that we stop having tailgates on campus. That's just a highly recommendation. If you have tailgates, know that these must be supervised by school personnel or by security and make sure what's going into those areas. A quick reminder that school grounds, alcohol, drugs, tobacco, and firearms are not allowed on school property. So make sure that people coming into these areas don't bring any of this in with them. So let's make sure that we have security at those. Also, let's beef up the security around our student sections as they continue to grow and be a problem of not cheering their own teams on, but being there to be derogatory toward the other teams and to also the officials. So let's take note of all this. Game administrators, we have to start doing a better job of maintaining control of our games. Don't be afraid to have security remove someone from the game who is intoxicated or seems to be on drugs or who is just causing a disturbance. Don't be afraid not to allow someone to come in if they, even if they've already paid. if you can smell alcohol on them. Alcohol and high school athletics do not mix. Remember, we are high school. We are not college. We are not pros. This is high school. It's a community-oriented activity where the entire community turns out, and we need to keep it that way. So let's make sure that we're doing this. And on a final note, schools, I'll remind you once again to have all of your security plans on file in Dragonfly, and also download and have a hard copy of that for you. I would encourage you to meet with all your staff this week and your security people. Beef up security at your events, especially when you have big nights such as homecomings and rivalry games. And let's just be as safe and as careful out there as we can be if we want to continue to have our events on our campuses on Friday nights. I think it's imperative that we make these events be a safe haven for people who want to come and watch our young people play. So with this, good luck to you, and let's just be careful and do a good job out there. Thank you.
Coach Ricky Navis, the executive director of the Mississippi High School Activities Association, with this announcement on his podcast this morning, and all of this was sent out to all of our schools who are hosting events. This triggered after this weekend's homecoming shootings at high school football games in Leland, Rolling Fork, and at Heidelberg. And y'all, we lost folks. And also in wake of this, now how does this apply locally? Well, we can tell you that Laurel High School, which is having homecoming this weekend, they have made an announcement about some changes that they're going to be doing. The Laurel School District has canceled homecoming street jam, and they announced an all tailgating activities until further notice. And this coming from Dr. Eubanks, the superintendent of the Laurel School District, that he says that he knows that homecoming is a time of pride, celebration, and togetherness. However, we must always put safety first. All other homecoming events, including the coronation, student dance, musical parade, and football game, will continue as planned with enhanced security measures in place. And y'all, I'm thinking that we may see this in a lot of places now. Also know, everybody, for somebody like me who's been around high school kids and being around young people all the time in this era of so much social media and so much noise around them, they're distracted so quickly. And oftentimes temperatures go up so quickly. They don't de-escalate as well as we wish they would when someone's opinion is different. And so let's just not only be prayerful, but also use wisdom as we, have these precious events, because there's nothing like Friday nights in Mississippi. And we don't want to get to the point where we can't have them because we can't secure them, right? We don't want that. So speaking of that, what games are scheduled for this weekend in our area and around the state with our teams? Well, Hattiesburg High is playing again on a Thursday night. They will be in Jackson at Forest Hill, and Lake will be at Pelahatchie. These are area games that will be played on Thursday. On Friday, Bay Springs will be at Heidelberg. There, Heidelberg, though, even with what happened, that game between two Jasper County schools is still scheduled for this coming Friday. Boca Chica is at Mount Olive. Brookhaven is at Sumrall. Choctaw Central is at Newton County. Columbia, undefeated, 7-0 at Tylertown. They are rolling over yonder with Coach Bilderback. East Central is at Northeast Jones. Enterprise Clark is at Taylorsville. Enterprise Lincoln is at Lloyd Star. Goshen is at Pearl River Central. George County is at Jim Hill. Greene County is at Bay High. Hancock is at Picayune. McGee is at Raleigh. Both those teams are 6-1. Macomb is at Lawrence County. Mize is at Clarkdale. Nanawai is at Sebastopol. The Natchez game homecoming. Laurel at home hosting Natchez. Newton's at Scott Central. Northeast Lauderdale at Quitman. Oak Grove is at Meridian. Mary Central is at East Marion. Petal is at Brandon. Purvis, that game, Petal and Brandon will be can be heard on 97.3 Super Talk Hattiesburg on Friday night. Purvis is at Stone. Resurrection is at Lumberton. Richton is at Stringer. Richland at 5 and 2 is at Mendenhall. Sacred Heart at North Horace. Seminary at McLaurin. South Jones is at North Pike. South Pike at Poplarville. Southeast Lauderdale at Union. Terry at West Jones. Van Cleve at Wayne County. West Lauderdale at Leake Central. West Marion is at BCS. In the MAIS Columbia Academy with Coach Joey Hawkins' team, they'll be at Wayne Academy. Newton County at Silver Bay. Park Lane at MRA. And Simpson Academy at Brookhaven Academy. Those are the games slated for our area teams here on Friday night. When we come back, we'll talk to our good friend Sean Walmsley and check out what's going on with the Jones Bobcats. They had a big win this past week. The sports page continues when we come back.
This is The Sports Page with Mitchell Williams on 97.3 and 99.3 Super Talk, Mississippi.
Hey, welcome back to Super Talk, Mississippi. Glad to have you and yours with us. Man, the weather is going to be really good this week, y'all. It's been nice, and it's going to, we're going to get a little bit more cooler as we kind of go through the week, and especially at nighttime. Man, it's sweet, sweet football weather. It's just good activity weather. And a lot of folks got things going on, and it's just good to be with you. Good to be with you. The Jones County Game of the Week, y'all, is Northeast Jones at East Central, and it's on 99.3 FM. As we said, the Petal game will be on 97.3. Don't forget now, on Tuesday night is Inside Petal Football. You'll have that here on Super Talk on 97.3, and then Inside the Locker Room with Coach Joey Hawkins and sometimes Coach Neville Barr, we hear him on there. So that's on Thursday nights. A lot of local programming here on Super Talk. If you want to be just a part of it, and just call the folk. Go to supertalkhattiesburg.com or supertalklaurel.com and get all that information. And boy, the radio is the way to go. And speaking of radio, I mean, you're going to hear some noise in a minute and a familiar voice. The sports information director at Jones College, our good friend Sean Walmsley. You hear that noise? Sean's at something. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Mitch. What's going on?
Oh, we're hanging on, man. We're hanging on. Where are you, and what are you doing?
Well, it's another volleyball night for Jones College. I think we've had volleyball every Monday night we've talked. And right now, Jones College is playing East Central, and East Central holds a 14-13 lead here in the first set. We got started about 10 minutes after 8 at sophomore night here at A.B. Howard Gymnasium. But Bobcat volleyball overall this year having a great year, 21 wins and 1 loss.
Goodness.
Just outstanding year for Coach John Duseway's team. They're 11-1 in conference play. They've won 11 straight matches. They won 3 matches by 3-0 scores last week over Meridian, Selma, and Itawamba. So we're playing East Central tonight, and we're at Northeast on Thursday, or Wednesday, I should say, and then Thursday, Friday, Jones will play 4 games in a tournament down at Pensacola, and it's 4 ranked teams in Division I and Division II. So that's going to be a huge, huge challenge coming up later this week for Bobcat volleyball. But only a couple of weeks left in the regular season, and if Jones can hang on to first place in the conference, they would host the Region 23 tournament November the 3rd and the 4th. So we'll talk more about that as we get closer to that.
That was my next question, and man, that would be just so awesome. Y'all are listening to Sean Walmsley, Sports Information Director at Jones College, and man, those Lady Bobcats over there at A.B. Howard are still doing that thing. And then, of course, football beating a ranked team this past week. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, Jones needed a win. We had to win to kind of keep some postseason hopes alive, and Jones got the job done with a 31-21 victory over number 9 Hines. Hines led 7-0 in the first quarter, scored on the first drive of the game, but Jones came back, took a 24-14 halftime lead, got out 31-14 in the third quarter, and ended up winning 31-21. In the game, quarterback Javarian Glover rushed for 121 yards, and running back Kyon Harris rushed for 114 yards. That's the second time this year we've had two running backs go over 100 yards. But it was a really good win for Jones. Hines is very explosive. They have a great quarterback. That young man from Starkville, he accounted for about 440 yards in the game, and they put up about 540. But Coach Pollard said they can get as many yards as they want, but just don't get the points, and that's what happened. And Jones won at 31-21. We're now 4-2 overall and 1-2 in division play. And this week, Jones will be on the road Thursday night for a 6:30 kickoff up at East Central. East Central's having a rough go this year. You know, they won the South last year.
Right.
Having a tough go this year, so Jones needs to hopefully get back to 500 in division play and get a win this week, because the season is fast coming to a close. A week from Saturday, on the 25th of October, Jones will be at Southwest, and then the regular season finale is just 3 weeks away. Jones versus Pearl River on October the 30th here in Ellisville. So only 3 more games left in the regular season.
Man, that's so crazy. That is so nuts. And then, you know, you're trying to get that, no matter what, if you make the playoffs or not, get to that win 5. Because that 5 gives you the winning season. And my goodness, it's so tough in that league. Whew, just tough. You don't really know. You can have a team with a losing record. They play their best game of the year any Thursday night here in Mississippi. Just nuts.
Yeah, no question about it.
You got football, but here comes basketball. And that ball is bouncing. Give us an update on what's happening with men's and women's hoops.
Yeah, the basketball team at Jones College both went to Texas over the weekend and played in some jamborees. The men's team, Coach Newton Meter's team, they had a heck of a week. They went 4-0 over there, had beat some nationally ranked teams, had a very fine performance. I know he is very pleased with that. And our women's team went 1-1 over in Dallas as well, or Mansfield, Texas, I should say. Coach Trista Whitman's team, she is very pleased with the way they played over there. And coming up on the preseason matches on October the 21st, Jones will host Southeastern Baptist College, and women and men's play here at A.B. Howard. And the season will get started in November. For the women, they go to Reed State on November the 3rd. And our men's team will open the regular season play on October the 31st in West Memphis, Arkansas against ASU Mid-South. So, yeah, basketball, once it starts in November, it goes for a ways. It goes November, December, January, February, and hopefully into March. That's what's been the case with our men's team the last few years anyway, that's for sure. But I think Coach Miller and Coach Whitman are both very, very excited about their upcoming season.
We've been talking about football. Y'all, we've been talking about the basketball season coming. You can hear that volleyball back in the noise over there. But we hadn't mentioned soccer. And then this is the year that, you know, during this time of the year, soccer is thumping about this time at Jones. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with them Bobcats. Soccer.
Yeah, on the men's side, the Bobcats having another outstanding year. They're 10-2-1 overall, 5-0-1 in conference play. Coach Brendan Conley's team having another outstanding year right at the top of the conference standings. Last week they ended up beating Gulf Coast 2-0 and Holmes 2-1. And this week they go to Southwest tomorrow, and they have a big makeup game on Friday at Itawamba. Itawamba's up there high in the standings as well. On the women's side, Coach Dolores Deasley's team had a tough go last week. They lost 2 matches by 1 goal each. Gulf Coast beat us 1-0, I should say, down at Perk. And then on Friday night, our women's team was ranked number 5, and we lost to the number 4 team, Holmes, 2-1. Here in Ellisville. Holmes scored in the 87th minute of the match, so basically 3 minutes left to play, and ended up winning the game 2-1. So our women's team, they're 7-3-2 overall, 4-2-1 in conference play. And their only match this week is tomorrow at Southwest. They got a big match a week from tomorrow on October the 21st when they host Northwest. Northwest is the number 1 team in the nation and the defending national champion. So that's going to be a huge match for our Bobcats a week from tomorrow night.
Without a doubt. Give us, Sean, an update on the volleyball game, and then anything else you want to add.
Volleyball right now, it is Jones 20, East Central 19. Back and forth match here in the first set. East Central's playing quite well, so we got a good battle on our hands tonight. And if folks want to follow the Bobcats, they can follow us at jcbobcats.com. They can go to X, Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram and search Jones College Athletics. And if they want to keep up with this game right now, they can go to jcbobcats.com/watch to watch the Bobcats. And that's where they can watch the game Thursday night when we play East Central as well.
All right, Sean, we hope to talk to you, my friend, same time, same place next week, all right?
Sounds great, Mitch. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean. Sean Wansley, Sports Information Director at Jones College. Hey, y'all, did y'all see the football game on Thursday night, national television, Southern Mississippi? Winning 38-35 at Georgia Southern, considered one of the 6 toughest places to play a football game. We had a 28-7 halftime lead, and then really a whole lot of theater in the second half, and it's really tough to win on the road, but we won that thing. And of course, Jeffrey Pittman, our tailback out of Taylorsville, rushed for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. And of course, B1, Braylon Braxton, he threw for 237, 2 touchdowns. He just really was so good. Our Eagles are 4-2, y'all, overall, 2-0, undefeated in conference play in the Sun Belt, and now head to Louisiana Lafayette, who y'all know Southern Miss, even when Louisiana Lafayette was the old Southwest Louisiana, they ain't never liked each other. It's going to be the same thing this week. Yeah. Kickoff at 4 o'clock in Lafayette. Big game now. Big game. So you can get it on ESPN+. When we come back, we'll talk to one of the best young college coaches in America, and he happens to be at Pearl River. The sports page continues in just a moment.
This is The Sports Page with Mitchell Williams on 97.3 and 99.3 SuperTalk, Mississippi.
Welcome back to SuperTalk, Mississippi. Hope you and yours are doing just right, y'all. We've been rolling through, y'all. And of course, y'all know that during the first segment, we talked about how the Mississippi High School Activities Association coming out recommending our schools suspend their tailgating, our high schools. If they got homecoming and things, Laurel High School is doing so. This off what happened this past weekend, tragically, where we lost 9 people. So y'all just continue to pray for our schools, y'all, and our environments around our schools, and y'all also, too, the security around our schools, where there are a lot of conversations. I talked to a number of folks and law enforcement people in a number of areas. They all had meetings early this morning about trying to secure these places where our young people and our coaches are. So everybody stay prayed up. I'm sure we'll have some more conversation about that as we kind of go through. But right now, y'all, I've been waiting to talk to this coach for a while. It's about that time, y'all. With us right now is the head basketball coach of the Pearl River Wildcats, Coach Chris Oney. Hello, Coach. How you doing?
How you doing, sir? Always good this time of year, because I know when I hear your voice, it's getting close.
Dadgummit, it sure is. You know, Coach. But you know, Coach Oney, I was sitting there looking at something, and I was like, has it been 10 years you've been head coach there? 10? You going into your 10th year? This is
well,
crazy.
After watching us play this weekend, I think I'm going into year 35.
Coach, my gosh! But you know,
it's going fast. I tell you what, when I first got here as an assistant coach, my daughter was, I think, in kindergarten almost, and now she's in college. So, years moving along.
Coach, my goodness. And, in those 10 years, y'all got to know, and I want to remind everybody, is that Coach has 190 wins going into his 10th year, which is crazy. And what's also crazy is, y'all, that he's the coach of the only community college basketball team that was 28-0 going into a national tournament that never happened. And, all of these things, Coach, and I sit there and I'm looking at that, and here you are into another season, and we got basketball coming. And tell me a little bit about really the off season going, I guess what you call an off season. What has been the summer and the early part of the fall as you got to get ready for this thing that's going to happen in just a little while?
I told people when school started this year that this probably has been the shortest summer than I can remember ever. I don't even remember the summer. It was like I looked up, and it was July 4th, and I looked up, it was a Hall of Fame banquet. Then I looked up, it was time to come back to school. So this summer has went really, really fast, I thought. And now this preseason is going even faster. I was watching us play this weekend, and I just couldn't help but think, even during the game, we got so much more that we got to work on, we got to get ready for, whatever. So it's coming up on us fast, So, but hopefully we can be ready, by November 1st.
Y'all listen to Coach Chris Oney, the head basketball coach of the Pearl River Wildcats, y'all, one of the best coaches on any level as it relates to basketball. And people will tell you that. But, Coach, I tell you what, these last couple of years, even more so, I mean, you win, but, boy, you live with that X on the back of your jersey. Everybody wants to, because of your success, which is a compliment. But still, too, it's like you're going to get everybody's best. Are you used to that now? I mean, is that one of those things now you just kind of, how the old saying, I had an old deacon say, well, the hell you have to live with is sometimes, something is, talk a little bit about that and dealing with being, just being that doorpost to winning in this state as it relates to basketball.
Well, heavy is the head that totes the crown, huh?
Yes.
But one thing that I guess I hardly ever pat myself on the back, but one thing I do pat myself on the back, but I pride myself in is, I don't really get caught up in that. I have really, really tough expectations of myself. I have really, really tough standards for the guys that play in this program, and so it just means a lot more, to us personally, than everyone else, So we go out, we want everybody's best, and so, people close to me, people outside of my inner circle, they don't want to hear it anyway, but we've been plagued with injuries the last 3 years, that's been the most frustrating thing, The last 3 years I thought we had teams that were good enough to, win it, to be honest, win the championship, whatever. Then, a knee here or an ankle here. And I know that's part of it, but it just seemed, I told my sister, it just don't seem like all the good ones always get hurt. The bad players don't ever get hurt, don't seem like, or whatever, but we can, kind of shake that injury bug and finish the season with the team we start with. I like our chances every year.
I know one thing with the teams that you've had usually so deep. I mean, you can run 9, 10 kids all the time, and they press and they defend so well. So if you're looking at your team healthy, that's getting ready, what do you like about this group? Do they look like, or do they have some resemblance of the teams that Chris Oney puts on the floor?
Well, that's a bad question because we just left Dallas, and I'm really upset about the way we played. But we went 2-2 out there. But we just finished watching film for almost 4 hours, I think, today or whatever. And we just didn't play with the fire and tenacity, that I'm accustomed, to seeing out there. This time of year you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna blow coverage and so you're gonna miss shots. You're gonna take bad shots. But the fire and tenacity has to be there every single time you lace it up, and I tell them it's an honor to play here, in this program, and that's a brand that we've established, and, we believe in protecting the brand, and that's giving you all, no matter who the opposition is, or no matter, what kind of aches and pains you have, you're able to go, you're able to go, and I didn't think this weekend we competed, as tough as we need to compete, in order to reach some of these goals that we have set.
Coach, let me ask you this. I've just been wondering, with all of this NIL stuff going on, and, you go out and you can recruit. You get great kids, and you got kids all over the country that played at Pearl River and now playing a lot of D1 programs. Do you think, even on the community college level, even with what you do, will there be a need for that, in terms of getting some kids to come? And, what are your thoughts? Is that something moving toward that, or is it something that? What do you think?
Yeah, well, some of the schools in Mississippi already had NIL before it was NIL, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
but
sir.
I don't want to let that out the bag or whatever.
Right.
but yeah, it's seeping down, full time. I think there are a few schools in our league that's legally, already, giving out NILs or offering NIL packages and everything. And I'm for what's best for the game. I'm for what's best, for everybody's program. I'm for what's best for the kids. I haven't really sat down and thought about it. Now, one of the things on this level, I know we don't generate the kind of money, that they generate at the 4-year colleges. So, I'm sure presidents and people are saying, does it even make sense to do or whatever, But I wish that we could do something to supplement the scholarship packages that we offer right now. I think they're kind of outdated, or whatever, and I think that we can make some adjustments, to that, to where both sides are happy. The administrators and the kids and the families are a little bit more happier, without breaking the bank, and paying kids salaries here on this level. But I do think there are some adjustments that we can make here in Mississippi with the scholarship packages to help everybody out.
Coach, I'm hoping so that happens, because I'd rather see a kid oftentimes go into an environment and play for a coach like you than get a little money and go play somewhere else and not play and not really get the value of it. And, and that's the thing, y'all, when you have a great community college program like you got in Poplarville, Mississippi, everybody, you got to know that there's so much value in that. And I just hope that happens, where that experience is even more better, hearing from a coach that when they get a kid in there, that can be something where that kid can grow in that environment. That smaller environment sometimes is better than going and getting in another place. But that's just me talking, Coach. But look,
absolutely.
I want to ask you this. So, in going into your 10th year, are you more excited? How are you? How you doing about does it still get you up, like trying to figure it all out? Now that you're you're winning and a seasoned coach, but what triggers your fire even more so in this season of your life as a coach?
Oh, I love what I'm doing, and a couple of years ago, I know this coach from Louisiana that's been doing it like 50-something years, and I went to his practice, and it was like it was year one. He was, upping the kids, coaching them hard, and I was sitting there saying, man, I hope I could be that way 50 years, down the road. I hope I still love it like that. Well, that was 4 years ago, my 4th year or whatever. Now I'm in year 10, and I have a headache because of the way we played in Dallas. I had a 2-day headache because of the way we played that. So I just don't think you can turn passion off. When you're really passionate about something and you love, doing what you're doing, it's not even about the results. I don't even know what my record is, to be honest, until you just told me. I'm mad that we lost 2 games in Dallas. I want to make sure we're ready to win. We have a scrimmage game tomorrow at Xavier. I want to make sure we can go there, compete, play with a 4-year college. I'm all about the next day, the next moment, and trying to get 1% to 2% better every single day. And I think if you keep that mindset, then you never get complacent, or you never let things creep in, or let things kind of mishaps. And I also think, because at the end of the day, that I'm in charge of young kids' dreams.
Yes, sir.
So I don't ever want to be the kind of coach that just kind of cozy through because I've been there and done that, or won this and won that. Because then I think I'll be letting kids down that are looking for the absolute best from me, so that they can achieve their goals and their dreams, and all that can come true.
Coach, in 30 seconds, what you just said, is that something also, when you just said about, okay, I want to go to the next thing and really just kind of put yesterday away, is that a life principle you also coach as it relates to these young cats? When they come in there, they're alpha males, getting to that next step, to that next day.
Yeah. We all about the next day, the next play, and all that kind of stuff. It's so funny to see these guys when they have a terrible day on Monday, and the next day I forgot all about it, and I'm moving on to something else.
Wow.
And I think that they really appreciate that. And then part of me, the servant part of me, the Christian part of me, we don't hold grudges, we don't hold bad moments, we don't do all that. We move on to the next moment, and we grow from it. I think that's the best way to handle all those situations.
Coach Oni, man, I can't wait to have you next time, doggone it. Thank you. I'm against a hard break, man. Go get him. Somebody got helped who heard you, because they always do. I always hear from folks. So I hope to talk to you real soon, my brother. Thank you so much for the night. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. And go Wildcats.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Chris Oni, y'all, the head coach of Pearl River Wildcats. He's a real one. When we come back, we'll cross the T and dot the I when the sports page continues. Thank you.
This is the Sports Page with Mitchell Williams on 97.3 and 99.3 Super Talk, Mississippi.
All right, welcome back to Super Talk, Mississippi. Don't forget about Crusader Talk. It's at the top of the hour, I guess 5 minutes after the top of the hour on 97.3 and SuperTalk, Also, y'all, on southeastmsfca.org, we have our car, truck, and bike show that's on November 15th. If you want more information, it'll be at Temple Baptist Church that morning. Now, we got a football game later on that afternoon, but that morning we got a car show. Come on out. All of that information is at southeastmsfca.org, and then just click on events, and you can get, last year we had 70, 75 cars out there. It was crazy. It was good, and love for you to come and also be able to support the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Prayers up in the communities in Leland and in Rolling Fork and in Heidelberg. If you go to the Mississippi High School Activities Association website, there's a podcast. Coach Ricky Nevis has an announcement where he has recommended to all the school districts, if you got a homecoming or what, to suspend all the tailgating activities that you have, anything that you got around it that you cannot secure, specifically the tailgating things, for this week right now, to suspend them. That's just the recommendation. They didn't mandate any of that. And the Laurel, which is having homecoming this weekend, they're playing Natchez, and they have suspended their tailgating. And also one homecoming event. There's a number of things around it, and of course they're working, making sure all of that is secure, but knowing that the tailgating part around homecoming at Laurel has been suspended. And don't be surprised, everybody, if there are not more. All right, in the area, we got a number of high school games that are going to be played in the area, including at Heidelberg. Heidelberg is taking on Bay Springs on Friday night. Local games around here will be hosted at Mount Olive, at Sumrall, at Newton County, at Tylertown, at Northeast Jones, at Taylorsville, at Pearl River Central, at Picayune, at Raleigh, at Lawrence County, which would be Monticello, at Clarkdale, at Laurel, as we talked about, at Quitman, at Meridian, in Columbia, at East Marion, at Stone, Wiggins, at Lumberton, at Stringer, at Mendenhall, at North Forest, which is Eatonville, in Poplarville, at West Jones, near Soso, in Wayne County, in Waynesboro, Mississippi, at PCS, right outside in Forest County, Wayne Academy, of course, they'll be in Wayne County, Silver Bay, which is in Jasper County, MR, and Brookhaven. Those are local games. That's not everybody that's playing. We got a lot of local teams playing on the road, but those are the local games that will be hosted this coming weekend. I loved hearing from Coach Oni when he talked about his personal mantra is to get to the next day, and as a Christian, it's not to hold something, but just to kind of go day to day and not let yesterday kind of dictate today, And that's kind of powerful because, you think of coaches. Coaches think about the games that they lost even more so than the ones that they won. But they look forward to practice the next day to try to get better. And, of course, with everything that's happened this past weekend, we have a world that's brimming with so much temptation. This is 1 Peter 5:8, y'all. It says, be sober, be on the alert. Your adversary, the enemy, is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for anyone he can devour. Wow, your adversary, meaning mine and yours, is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for anyone he can devour. Because we live in a temptation-filled world, we must guard our eyes, our thoughts, and our heart all day and every day. Coach talked about trying to do what he needs to do every day. Yeah, it's inevitable, y'all, that we'll be tempted by somebody or something. In fact, we'll probably be tempted on countless occasions during the day. Why? Because we live in a world that's filled to the brim with temptations and addictions that are intended to lead us so far away from the Lord. Here in the 21st century, temptations are now completely and thoroughly woven into the fabric of everyday life. Yeah, it is. That it's okay just to do a little something. It's all right to do that even though we know it's wrong. Society spews forth this wide range of messages, all of it which simply imply it's okay to rebel against the Lord. But how about this? If you're asking yourself how you can stand up, no, here's the good news. The Creator, God himself, has promised, not implied, not suggested, nor has insinuated. He has promised that with his help, you can resist every single temptation that confronts you. Yeah, even when it comes down to fighting Satan. And know that he is industrious and creative, the enemy is, and he's working 24/7 to take you out. Y'all, I heard Pastor J. Mar Jackson tell his church at Judah, pray for our children, pray for our communities. Y'all, we all need to do it. We're living in a time, y'all, that whatever we value, we need to not only support, love, and protect. All right, from all of us to all of you, we pray that you and yours are well and hope that you have a great week. We hope to talk to you same time, same place next week. Crusader Talk is on the top of the hour. I guess a few minutes after the top of the hour on 97.3. Take care, everybody. God bless.